What's going on, guys? This is Sandpaper here, coming at you with a new video. This right here is from the first beta weekend of Call of Duty. Now, I was really excited to play this game, been looking forward to it for a very long time. As a personal favorite, I've always truly enjoyed Infinity Ward games. They just always seem to make superb games. But that's not to do with anything today. Today's video is about how to slay out like King Scump, no matter what game it is. Now, this mostly is going to apply to shooters, probably more of a Call of Duty-esque kind of thing. So, the main thing you want to do especially is start looking at the map, start realizing the environment, the loadout that you're actually in. So like right here, you'll kind of see me kind of float around in this area, so I've kind of chosen my lane. Now I'm not focusing on the objective as much as I should be, and I'm also using a gun that I hadn't tried out before, and it has no attachments, so I'm just leveling it up. As you can see, I had to find another weapon. Now, as you're going through the match, you want to constantly be aware of where your teammates are. So as you can see on the map, you know, most of my teammates are in kind of the bottom left corner of where I am. But then as that's happening, they're getting killed out, and then the spawns are getting kind of messed up. So I'm constantly keeping an eye on that mini-map of where my teammates are. So what I even end up doing is I keep my HUD actually set as close in as possible. It's a little trick I learned from Crim 6. It works really well, and it actually stops your eyes from having to drift over too much like screen. So in the process of you having to like look up, you're not like, oh, I didn't see that guy and I got killed, or like you missed somebody that you could have completely got. Now this game mode is called Defender, so basically it's like Smear the Queer or Keep Away. It's really hot potato, but you want to have the hot potato. So the longer you hold it, the more points you get for your team. But so what I'm doing is I'm kind of playing around that fact. So I know generally where the enemy teammates are going to be going most of the time. They're always going to be kind of focused on that. They'll actually sort of have a tunnel vision unless you have someone who's a little bit more Call of Duty aware, if that makes sense. So I'm kind of just playing the streaks. And so right now, I'm actually trying out streaks that I've never tried out before. So I was like, oh, what's this? And I realized that it's actually a missile launcher that you have to track yourself in. So it kind of leaves me vulnerable. Oh well, it doesn't really matter, I don't really care. I already got all the streaks I wanted, got to try them out and do stuff. I'm interested in definitely doing a nuclear at some point in the future. So then the next part of actually playing like Scumpy in like kind of a Slayer role in a game mode that you don't know, in a game you still don't know, you're still learning. The main thing you want to do is start realizing where your teammates are. Where your teammates are, almost always, there will be someone opposite on the opposite side of the map who is your enemy. So you always want to try to track around that. Definitely one of the best ways to actually be able to play. And then, you know, this is assuming that you have a decent team who's actually playing the objective. So it enables you to actually play a Slayer role if you're going for wins. So in this game mode, what I kind of liked to do was to grab the ball every once in a while, but like kind of just float around the area, because the way it works is like, you know, you have like, it's out and then for like a minute or like 30 seconds, yeah, it's a full minute, and then it resets itself. So if you have the ball in your hand, doesn't matter, it's gone. And it goes back to the center area. So you always have a general spawn area that you can kind of focus around actually catching or stopping. Now again, this was probably my second time playing this map, so I kind of understood the gist of how the level worked. I was just still kind of learning some of the spawns. Now with this game mode, it kind of messes up the spawns, because with Team Deathmatch, you know, you're pretty much always guaranteed to have some pretty crazy spawns. This one is, I'd probably say like a cross between Team Deathmatch and Domination in the sense of spawns, where like they're pretty like consistent to certain areas, depending on, you know, how you're controlling some of the spawns. Like Domination, obviously, you know, if you have A and B, they're most likely going to be spawning near C, and you know, so forth. Or if you have all three and most of your team's on C, B, then they're going to be going for A. But it's constantly kind of keeping yourself aware to the map, to where your teammates are, where the enemies are, how good your guns are, the actual area that you feel comfortable in. The best way you can normally play as a good Slayer is to find an area that you're comfortable in. Now, it's sort of like camping, but it's also not, because what ends up happening is you are running between a specific area. You're choosing a lane. You're constantly running back and forth between those places so that you always have complete map awareness of the area. And in essence, you're shutting down an entire lane so that the enemies can't do anything. Which then enables the other 5 people on your team, or if you have other people joining you, the rest of the people on the map to be able to control just 2 lanes instead of 3. And in that way you can always ensure somewhat spawns and also where the spawns of the enemies are going to be coming from. And just like with any camper, I'm sure everyone has experienced that camper you just get so pissed off at. You know, like, a lot of people don't realize, like, you can learn from the mistake of, like, you know, a camper. I don't know, I really like this game. There's a lot of people who are kind of salty about it, and I don't know, they can rethink their decisions. All I know is that this was a beta game, obviously, so it's not finished. There's still a lot of things they gotta do. They gotta balance out the game. Like, they've only probably ever done an alpha, which was probably just between all the developers and some paid testers. So with that, you only have like a few instances of them actually knowing what they need to do to make the game. And so now they have, you know, the masses playing the game, they have a chance to start tweaking it. And if you actually go to the game right now, the beta, it's actually live. They came out a day early, which is really awesome. Especially considering that it's PlayStation only this week. But I have some pretty high hopes for this game, not only just for the fact that Infinity Ward's remaster of Call of Duty 4 actually looks so good, but I'm really excited because this game is actually, like, personally fun. It kind of is bringing me back to the same feeling of Modern Warfare 3 with a mixture of some of, like, what we've been doing. It's like Modern Warfare 3 Ghosts, and then some of the booster aspect, but with a little bit slower gameplay and faster time to kill. And I think that's something that this game's really needed for a long time. And especially, you know, like I said, I'm a diehard Infinity Ward person, so I love that this game it's coming out. We're just a few weeks away from the actual launch of the game. Now, the problem you'll see there is that a lot of times what happens is if you get out of place and you're not kind of controlling the map how you were, or you get confident or you get cocky, you just kind of zone out and you just do your own thing. You'll end up in situations where you end up closer to the objective than you ever wanted to be, and then you have the entire enemy team like storming in at one time and they absolutely just start slaying you out. Now again, this was, you know, I kind of knew the map, but I was also using a gun I had never used before. And I'm a big fan of the burst fire, the M8s and stuff like that from Black Ops 3. I play a lot of competitive matches with that. And this gun actually is really satisfying to me. I'm actually really excited to see what's going to happen with competitive gaming with this new game, because this is definitely a new game. But that's going to be all for me today. This was how to be King Scumpy on a brand new game that you've never played. And this goes to any Call of Duty, and the more you understand the maps, the more this will start to really help you. So this is Sandpaper, and I will talk to you guys later.